Hi Sarah, you couldn't hear me before, I was muted. Welcome. Lead again, Philip.
Hello dear.
We're muting ourselves.
कल की साक्षात श्री आदि शक्ति माताजी श्री निर्मला देवी नमो त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कल की साक्षात् श्री सहस्रार स्वामिनी मोक्ष प्रदायिनी माताजी श्री निर्मला देवी नमो
Good evening, everyone online. Thank you for joining. Good evening, Philip. Philip is with us tonight. Good evening, Ravi. Surinder, of course, over there teching for us. Nice to be with you all. And of course, our reason for being here together is to have a nice meditation together. This is a Sahaja Yoga meditation, which is spontaneous. The literal meaning of Sahaja Yoga is spontaneous connection with the all-pervading energy of divine all around us. And of course, our big picture is that we're transitioning from the consciousness of being a Homo sapien going to our new level of consciousness, our super consciousness, where we go above where we've so far evolved to. Philip, that brings us to, we had a talk that we listened to last week, and we're going to continue with that. So the idea is that we listen to a little bit longer talks instead of just the shorter excerpts, which are very interesting. And perhaps we can just reiterate what we heard on the talk last week. Shri Mataji, the founder of Sahaja Yoga meditation, has probably thousands of talks that she's given around the world. And this particular one that we're listening to now, she gave at a Jung Society meeting quite a long time ago, so it's quite an early talk, but a lot of depth and detail. Last week we heard she was talking about our void area and some of the incarnations that came on Earth to help us evolve, and at that stage of evolution of when those Adi Gurus, they were called, came, our state of evolution was such that we had to just be given rules to try and be better people, to be better. And so it was quite strict. And some of those Adi Gurus, interestingly, Philip, there's 10 incarnations of that Adi Guru principle, which is a big concept if you've never heard of that idea. But there are also 10 commandments. And that also correlates to the fact that we have 10 valencies, just like all the minerals and elements of the earth have different numbers, chemical numbers. Our human number is 10. Did you want to just cover off a few of those Adi Gurus? I know you've got a few nice bits of information about some of those incarnations who came on the earth to give us some guidance, which we may or may not have taken.
They came for a particular purpose, as Lynn has said, to try to keep human beings in a balanced state. because they knew that in the future, the human being would be getting their higher self through their yoga, through their self-realization. And what they tried to do was to show human beings not to go too far to the left or right, because it's harder to retract. But the thing with realization is that we're forgiven, and we can actually balance ourselves after the Kundalini awakening. But what the gurus, as I said, tried to do was, and the first one came in 5000 BC, Rajajanaka. The last one died in 1918 in Sahaja Yoga. So that singular person incarnated 10 times in different cultures, like Socrates, Lao Tse, Confucius, Muhammad, Zoroaster, Moses, Abraham. So they came for that purpose, just to help and try and guide human beings not to go too far left or right, to excess. And they spoke about that a lot within when they spoke to people. And there's one little quote here I've got from Socrates, who was a well-known person in Athens, who would go out into the public to speak to people and talk to them, have conferences and listen. And he was a great debater. And his whole aim was to try and get, once again, people in a balance. And he said, I spend all my time going about trying to persuade you, young and old, to make your first and chief concern not for your bodies, not for your possessions, but for the highest welfare of your souls. So they always were looking at that deeper side, the benefit of humanity. And this is why they talk about things like alcohol and all those sort of things, to not go in those areas, because it take you off the centre. And as I said before, it enabled a human being, when it come into, which is this period now, to find your higher self. It would be easier to feel it and to attain it. But as I said before, the beautiful thing that Shri Mataji has done through Sahaja Yoga is that, yes, you can get that awakening, and then through the understanding of your own subtle system, you become your own guru. But at the same time, you're a student, you're still learning, which is interesting. Yes. There's a combination there.
Yeah, so if we are our own guru, which if it's your first time tonight, you'll come to understand when we go through that realisation in a minute, or maybe 15. Yes, that you are your own guru, but you have to be also your own teacher. So we're trying to watch ourselves as well, and not identify with our lower self. Let's face it, we've got things to evolve about ourselves. We haven't actually zoomed in as perfect. But we identify with our higher self, our spirit. And our spirit is our guru. We are our spirit.
We are a spirit.
The guru.
Guru keeps us near that. And it's the beautiful thing about it is that it's quite revealing about ourselves. When we get the awakening of the Kundalini, our chakras, the subtle system, register on our body, and particularly on our hands. So we read ourselves and we can adapt. And over a period of time, we can correct and balance all the things that we have harmed within ourselves. And we're given that, as I said before, the second chance to resurrect ourselves to become the spirit. So it goes onwards. I've got a quote here from Sai Baba of Shirdi, who was the last one to come. He passed away in about 1918. And he says, members in a family are bound to have differences, but do not quarrel. One who means well will do well. If you do good, good will follow. Great is the reward of virtue. The vicious suffer. If wealth is used judiciously, it will be beneficial. Wholesome food will bring good health, and a man of restraint is better than a man of indulgence. Do not covet others' wealth. Are we born merely for sensual pleasures? The mind is tricky, for it ensnares us in temptation. Restrain it, to attain peace. And so they once again, a great quote, and they were all of them, when they came, talked a lot about this thing, as we said before, the balance. And we know that when there's the old saying, going off the rails, that rails could be the middle road, you know.
Yeah.
Lynn and I were talking before about a plane taking off, and also Shri Mataji said this, that a plane taking off or landing has to be balanced to reach its point or to fly. It goes that way, it ends up, it's all to do with balance. And even in nature, you have balance of things growing straight within their character.
Yeah, and that point of that being to fly up means we want to actually ascend. That's our evolutionary step.
Take flight.
Become better.
Yeah.
That we go into that area of divine, spiritual.
Well, this is what we're meant to do, and this is why these gurus, the Adi gurus, came, and other incarnations as well, to say, hey, you humans, what about this? No, back here a bit. That's way a bit. You know, they talked about forgiveness. They talked about being good to each other and peaceful and all this sort of stuff. It can sound sort of a bit trite and a bit mushy, but it's a fact.
Yeah.
We're better off if we forgive and get on.
And
that's what they wanted us
as well,
to do.
That there's a lot of people that profess to be gurus who aren't actually gurus.
That's the point.
And
there's always charlatans.
About you having your self-realization and being able to feel the truth and the pure knowledge on your hands and in your heart. Yeah. So then whatever's said or professed, you know that it's
you can feel it.
Total rubbish or it's true.
And a good indicator also, this is what Shri Mataji said, and it's quite obvious, is that if there's money involved in spirituality or a charge or you got to pay, in guarantee it's business.
Yeah.
And this is where Sahaja Yoga is free, because this system is within us.
Yeah.
We've got to, through the awakening within it, we've got to come and understand and read it, because it's all there for us to know. It belongs, it's there for us. It's built in us in the sense of evolution in creation, is to understand ourselves from the inside. Once again, being our own guru or teacher, is to understand ourselves from the inside. This is what we're meant to know.
And how far not to go to.
Oh, not far not to.
In that we have those compartments, compartments of going left and right. So, and in the medical field, they do know of the sympathetic nervous system, but they think they're both the same. In the medical knowledge, it isn't that we do have a left sympathetic and a right sympathetic. And that whole evolution starting on the left below the Kundalini and then the right starting above the Kundalini. And one of action, one of desire.
One desire.
But we want to get back to the pure desire. Shall we move on to the next part of the talk where Shri Mataji will give a lot more information, and then we will go through the realization to have our first meditation, and then Philip, you can take us into a deeper meditation after that. And of course, as usual, at the end, you're most welcome to give any feedback or ask any questions if something seems, you just want something explained. But we will play this talk, the next section of the one we listened to last week, and by the miracle of technology, we will have it come here on this TV for everyone to watch here. Everything in a different place. It's just taking me a little. Bear with me for a moment. I'll just get that talk back up for us. It just seems to be hiding.
There we are.
It's there. It's a wonderful thing. Just find it. Just it's not come on the screen here just yet. So just listen to the talk. It's a fairly old, it's quite an old timeline, but you should be able to understand it quite well. Just get over here and play.
We are human beings. If we go beyond this, that side or this side, then we become either subnormal or abnormal. Now the subnormal people are the ones who go to the left side. Now I would like to say that another mistake was committed because of the idea of this unconscious. That way the findings of the Indian seers, because in India there is nothing like religion, it's just a seeking, a true seeking of a person. He is neither a Hindu, Muslim, Christian, those who are seers. You see, they say there is no caste for a seer. A person who is a seer has no caste, he has no religion, he is nothing, because he is a human being. He doesn't belong to any conditioning of the kind but to the truth itself. So they found out through meditative method, not through reading, through mental projections or through imaginations or anything, but through meditative method. First they have to become realized souls. Like in Patanjali, as she said it, it's not written clearly, but he said first you have to have Ishvara Pranidhan, means you must get your realization first. The God must be established within you. Before that, anything else you do is just artificial. For example, now, this thing they have put it here for me to speak. Supposing it was not connected to the mains, it would not work. It's a very simple thing again I say. Any machinery, this one, if it is not put to the mains, it doesn't work. In the same way, human beings who are not connected to the mains, if they start working out, they either go to the left or to the right. Now also we'll see very clearly, medically, we can see this, what happens. That we have an autonomous nervous system within us. If you ask the doctors who is this auto, they don't know. They just say auto, because it works by itself. Who is the auto, they cannot say. But in the autonomous service, you see, branding is the way people just shut you out. You don't know what to say, that you are autonomous nervous system. Now you ask them who is auto, because I did medicine, I was surprised the way they were going about with all this blindness. Doesn't matter. This autonomous nervous system has got two groups of nervous system. One is sympathetic, another is parasympathetic. Now the sympathetic nervous system, though they call it autonomous, but it is under our control. Because in sympathetic nervous system, in any emergency, it comes into play. Like supposing I am frightened, then I start running. Then when I start running, the sympathetic goes into action. And when sympathetic goes into action, the parasympathetic brings it back to the normal. Means, supposing you are running very fast, your heart starts pulsating very fast, but then it comes to normal by the action of the parasympathetic. So we have two types of left and right sympathetic nervous system. Both can be activated by our own emergency created by us. Now see, the left and right, according to the doctors, is all just the same. For them it's quite a blind alley. So parasympathetic, they don't want to talk. They're honest people, so they don't want to talk parasympathetic. But sympathetic also, what they understand is that the left and right are just the same, but it is not so. Left looks after the emotional or the desires, as you say, the emotional side, the conditioning side, and also the subconscious, because it creates the subconscious within us. The present subconscious is created by this nadi or the chakra. Now the right side one, as I told you, is for the action. It creates the supraconscious side. Means a person is a very, very futuristic person. I mean, Americans are very futuristic and very speedy people. So what happens, they start moving to the right. Too much of action, very speedy, very fast. You see, everything is for the future. I mean, you are sitting here and maybe we are thinking of tomorrow, what am I going to cook, sort of thing. So this is what happens to us when we start thinking about the future. And then we create a realm as the present supraconscious within us. But beyond that lies the realm called as the collective supraconscious. So as I told you, there is collective supraconscious and collective subconscious and a collective superconsciousness. Then we have another collective hell, we can call it. So we have 4 types of collective consciousness. But it is not conscious in our central nervous system. That's why we call it unconscious. It's a general name. English language, unconscious, which is general name. But actually we have 4 types of unconscious, and all of them are collective. Now what happens to the collective subconscious? Collective subconscious is the area where all that is dead since our creation resides. All that is dead resides in that area. Recently I saw a very interesting documentary on cancer cure or cancer. Some doctors have given a very good report saying that if the body is vulnerable for cancer, according to Sahaja Yoga, when you are too much in a sympathetic activity, then you are vulnerable for cancer. Then an attack comes to you from the area which is built since our creation. They are very near us. And they call that as, the name is given again as protein 58. You can call him the street number 68 as well. I mean, you can call it anything. So they call it protein 58 and protein 52. That's what I gathered in that thing. They call it like that. But now what are these things that trigger? They are the ones who trigger cancer. This is one point we have to find out. What happens if you go to the collective subconscious? Because of this complete jumble of 4 collective consciousness, we can say, because of not understanding that these are 4 areas kept like this separately, that way, this way, and downward and upward, absolutely nicely compartmented. The problem came that they thought that we have to go into these areas first to understand about the depth of our being. Now, as you see, there's a clear-cut path in the center. Here, according to Sahaja Yoga, there's a, and the another thing is Sahaja Yoga does it. It works out. It's an actualization. It is not just talking or theories. Actually, you can see the Kundalini pulsating in the triangular bone, not in everyone, but on the people who have some problems on the Nabhi chakra, this center or that center. If there is an obstruction, then the Kundalini really pulsates, and you can see with your naked eye. We have some of the photographs taken by that, but we cannot say that definitely in this person it will pulsate like that. With a stethoscope, you can feel the pulsation rising, and when you bring it to the top of your head, you can feel the pulsation rising here. And when it stops, you feel the cool breeze coming out of your head. Actually, cool breeze. This is actualization. Now what happens actually is that this Kundalini is the one who is the mother principle within us, reflected as the primordial mother. It was so great and courageous of Jung to talk about this when Freud was so much accepted by everyone. Even now in London there are only 12 Jungians. You'll be surprised. I'm so happy to see so many of you are here. So he is the one who very courageously put forward this idea that there is the mother's force within us, which is a fact and which can be proven. If you see historically now, at the time of Moses and Abraham, you see Moses crossing the bridge. You see, this is significant here. This is the void. We call it the void, but Zen for them void is different. So we cross this. In the same way, Moses crossed through the bridging. And this bridging takes place when the Kundalini rises from that triangular bone and crosses over when the first bridging takes place. Now one may ask a question then why did they think like that? Why is it they did not have the right idea about it? Why these mistakes were created? If there were realized souls, no doubt there were realized souls. But here the problem was in this country, all these Western countries, is that it's a very individual effort of a person. And traditionally it was not known so much about. Though Christ has openly said that you have to be born again, and that a transformation must take place. But then again we started an artificial type of a baptism, that you put some hand on somebody's head, anybody putting hand and say, now you're baptized. But there are people like Blake who said, a priest cursed on my head. He said so. So the thing is that because it is not a knowledge of the ancient times in the Western areas, people took an individual probe into the thing. Naturally, whatever they found out was not supported, something was supported by their experiences, whatever he had from the dreams and all that, so he established it. But another problem is, a person who suddenly, through spontaneity only, through Kundalini awakening only, jumps on the stage. Then he starts seeking about the stage, about the framework, how it is made, how it is done. But because it is an individual approach, it is very linear. It is not going from one point to many points, but is linear. For example, he would go on this point to find out, then on to that point to find out, and then on to that point. But supposing somebody who knows about the framework and also about the stage can tell you about everything, and that is what is needed today. Historically, it was, I would say, the dharma, the religion was established historically for our consciousness. Everybody has contributed. Then it came further on to this point where another center is very important. These are all the milestones of our evolution, milestones. At this point, the advent of the motherhood came just to protect, for protection. Because that time the ascent was not so much needed, but the protection of the seekers. And she came as the mother of the seekers to protect them from evil forces. Now the evil forces were from the left and from the right. The left side people also are sly, those who invade, those who torture are what you call the masochists sort of people, and the right side as the sadist people. Then when they die also, they do not leave their habits, and they then possess people and try to torture. For example, Hitler used lamas for this, and he got the supraconscious ideas from them. Lamas are known for their supraconscious ideas, that they can tell you where the lama is going to be born and where such and such person, all the futuristic. And he had a training with them, and they went down there. Some of the people went and told him how to use the supraconscious spirits to impress or to possess the Germans. And he managed that very well. Because of that, they lost their consciousness. They didn't know what they were doing. In possession, one doesn't know what he's doing. And that's how these possessed people did such work that even animals cannot, worse than animals. Without any sense of shame, without any sense of decency, without any sense of love or compassion. So the whole development came up like that, and surprisingly, they also called it as a fatherland. Fatherland, the right-sided manifestation, you can say, the manifestation of the action. So that's how we grew up with our action, developing our ego. As she told you, first we had just the part which was the pituitary within us at an animal stage, but then pituitary was pushed down, our ego came up. As the action took place on the right hand side, we developed this yellow stuff. It's like the bile color, and all these people have bile trouble and liver trouble. Those who are overactive are aggressive people, and they try to aggress others. Now the problem was that India was dominated for 300 years by English people, and the seers and all were ridiculed and laughed at. Nobody even bothered to look at them. So they disappeared into their caves and disappeared into places where they could not be located. It was such an aggression of ego on them. And later on they made our people to learn more about science, learn more about their culture and their achievements. They impressed so much on the Indian people that we took to your stars. All these years got lost. From 14,000 years back, you'll be surprised, there was a great seer called Markandeya, who has written all about Kundalini, about the ascent of the Kundalini and everything. There was a great astrologer, I should say he was the person who started astrology in India about 16 or 17,000 years back. We cannot really say when he started it. He wrote one great book called Bhrugu Sangita, but before writing that, he wrote another one called Nadi Granth. Of course, this is written on the lotus leaves. And this Granth, this voluminous thing, was later on completely depicted and brought to up-to-date level by another person about 300 years back, whose name was Bhagan. Can you imagine that this man, thousands of years back, predicted clearly that the Sahaja Yoga will start in 1970?
So we'll stop the talk just there, and let's, Philip, let's awaken our Kundalini energy and go into that stage of consciousness above our thinking brain. So I'll start us off on our first meditation, and then maybe you can continue us on and make us go a little deeper and stronger.
Okay.
Ravi, you ready for that? So we've got our shoes off, so we're in contact with Mother Earth. Let's just take a few deep breaths. Just, you can close your eyes or you can look towards the flame if you can see it. And there's a photograph of Shri Mataji, which also has very strong vibrations to help settle our attention. So if it's your first time tonight, this is also good for you. And if if you've been with us many times, now we'll be strengthening our Kundalini awakening. So let's just taking a few deep breaths, taking our attention on ourselves. Our hands are open on our lap, our feet are touching the floor, the Mother Earth, which is down there somewhere. So let's take our attention to our heart. So we'll go on our feeling desire side, our left side that Shri Mataji was talking about. So we've been busy on our right side today, working. So we'll place our right hand on our heart on the left side, just to the left of the central channel. And let's just take our attention inside by asking ourselves the question, who am I? Who is this I? And then we can go down to the void area, which is just under our rib cages, still on the left side with the right hand, firmly placing our hand there. And we'll ask the fundamental question to ourselves, am I my own master? Am I in charge of myself? Am I my own guru? Do I have many outside gurus, teachers? And we'll go down level with where our Mother Kundalini is, just waiting for us to ask her to help us with our next stage of evolution. So here she's residing in the sacrum bone at the base of our spine. We're on the left side at the lower part of our stomach, our hip and leg joint, pressing quite firmly here. And we want to awaken our pure desire to ascend. So we're going to ask in our heart, Mother Kundalini, please give me the pure desire and the pure knowledge, the truth about my real self, my true self. Mother Kundalini, please give me that pure information, the truth about myself. She'll guide you in your ascent. So always refer to her and just create that relationship with your Mother Kundalini. So we're taking our hand back up to the top of our stomach, that void area. And with our mothering Kundalini energy now awakened, we can affirm, Mother Kundalini, I am my own master. By your grace, I am my own guru. She's our individual mother for our entire eternity. She's been there. She knows everything about us and will guide us gently in our ascent. Let's go up to the heart where we started. And let's affirm to our mothering Kundalini energy, Mother energy, Mother Kundalini, I am the pure spirit. So we all have the pure spirit within us, and that's the reflection of the divine that's within all of us. Mother Kundalini, by your grace, I am the pure spirit. I'm not this body. I'm not these activities I have to do. I'm not my mortgage. I'm not the shopping. I am the pure spirit. Just feeling that profound awakening in our heart. We'll continue our journey up. One of the things that squeezes and presses the central channel and the flow of our Mother Kundalini is if we feel guilty about things. So let's just take our hand up to the neck, where the neck and the shoulder join, holding it firmly. We'll turn our head to the right so we can access that area, give it a big squeeze, and just simply repeat to yourself that I am not guilty. I'm not guilty. Say that many times. Just take out all that useless guilt. Because we want to just face anything wrong we think we've done. Just don't do it again. Because we are the pure spirit and nothing else matters. I'm not guilty. It's quite liberating and makes you feel very light and nice. I'm not guilty. Now that we've freed that area, the neck area, that is a chakra of witnessing life, we'll go up to our forehead center now, which is the center that Christ came to clear for us. It's really the key to getting into that next stage of our evolution. So what's required here is to forgive. We've got to forgive everyone and everything, and we're going to forgive ourselves. So just placing your hand on your forehead, you can drop it down into the palm, resting it there, holding it quite firmly on the sides, and let's just simply say, Mother Kundalini, I forgive everyone. Mother Kundalini, I forgive myself. Just let everything go Try not to think of anyone or anything that's happened. Just forgive and let everything drop off. Mother Kundalini, by your grace, I forgive everyone and I forgive myself. Now, if by chance there's something you just can't forgive of that you feel you've done and it keeps popping in your head, let's tip our head up and rest the back of our head in the palm from behind. So the palm is holding the head at the back. We've tipped our head up and we're just going to ask, if I've made any mistakes, please forgive me. Mother Kundalini, if I've knowingly or unknowingly made any mistakes, please forgive me. And of course, we are forgiven. Now we can let it all go. Now let's come up to that top energy center, the Sahasrara, the 1,000-petaled lotus. And let's press down with the center of the palm of our hand. So we can press down and lift the fingers a little and just rotating the scalp, giving it a gentle massage, or quite a firm massage. And here's where we ask, Mother Kundalini, please give me my self-realization. So that's what we call that enlightened stage, that entry into the next stage of our consciousness. And if we've done it before, we can also say, please strengthen my self-realization. Mother Kundalini, please strengthen and establish my self-realization. Just raising the hand above that soft spot on the top of your head. You may feel a gentle flow. And the more you keep doing this exercise, the stronger you will feel it. Could be up high, could be close. Ultimately, it'll be a cool flow of your mothering Kundalini energy. And as she flows up through our central channel, she clears the path and clears away any debris, any squeezing by different emotions. And it may come out as heat, so that's also good if you feel heat. That's a clearing sensation. So just see if the other hand you feel it stronger. Put the right one down, open on your lap, and take the left one up, bring it close, take it up high. Wherever you can feel that flow, keep your attention there and bring the two hands down. The more you do it, the more confident you'll feel about what you're feeling. Just otherwise keeping your attention where your hand was. Two hands are open. Breathing is still going on. Your attention is up there. Any thoughts come, not this thought. I'll think about you later. So we'll do a couple of exercises just to take us a little further in our meditation. Just slowly opening your eyes. Philip, would you like to show us a few balancing left and right and how to take our meditation on?
The Kundalini has awakened the central channel. As human beings, we use left and right. Central channel is a new area within us. So to go on to that central channel, if our left hand is heavier and warmer than our right hand, we'll leave that open on our lap and drop the right hand towards the earth. And what we're doing here is asking the energy within ourselves to clear the left side so we can be more on the center, more in that silent area. We try and keep our attention on the top, on our Sahasrara, on our own crown, the top of the head. And that enables the Kundalini to clear the left side. To clear the right side, same thing. If the right hand is heavier, this is where we read ourselves. This is where we become our own teacher. We're looking at our subtle system. If the right hand is heavier than our left and warmer, and we have a tendency to be quite a right-sided culture in the sense of thinking a lot, physically active, all that sort of thing. We leave the right hand open on our lap. We take the left hand and bend it at the elbow and point the fingers towards the sky. And we're venting. We want to take the heat from the right side. Once again, allowing the Kundalini to do its job. That's why it's there. And when awakened, it actually looks after us. We keep our attention on the top. When we do our meditation, we read ourselves. Two simple practices just shown can help us go to the center, into the silence, and go to our Sahasrara, our crown. We can also lift our Kundalini with our hands. She's there, she's intelligent, and she'll respond. This is a way of strengthening her. Of course, her aim is to be awakened and to be up, to be active through our central system. You feel at the top. It's cool. Keep our attention there. Both hands open on our lap. And keep our attention once again on our crown, the fontanelle bone at the top of the head. That's above our thoughts. And if thoughts do come in, I forgive. I forgive. Once again, we can lift our Kundalini just gently as it becomes stronger. Take our attention to the top. Feel the top. Keep our attention.
Nice to carry on. It's very nice, but we might finish our meditation by raising our Kundalini, Philip, and our little exercise we do in Sahaja Yoga.
Take both hands. The left one rises in front, the right one goes around it. We go to the top, we tie her up. 1 knot, up again, second time, 2 knots. Third time, up again, 3 knots at the top for the 3 channels. Then we place on a bandhan, a bond of love. It actually means armour, but in a good way, as a protection. Left hand out, right hand to the left, over the top, through the Kundalini. It's a horseshoe shape we're making. Over and back is 1, over and back is 2. We go up to 7, representing 7 centres within us. Try to meditate each day and let it grow. That's I think the greatest advice is let it grow, let it develop, and you'll feel the nirvichara, the thoughtless awareness. And when you touch that, it's a beautiful place to be. And you will recognize that in your awareness. This is a beautiful thing about Sahaja Yoga. It's there for us to find and to feel. So try it each day, be patient with yourself, and let it develop. Paul.
Thank you, Philip. That was very nice. Thank you, everyone, for joining. We've run out of time. Thank you for joining in person. I do like in-person people. If you have any questions, online people, feel free, or any feedback. We'll just finish with a lovely song by Sahaja Yoga called Like Heaven, describing the meditative experience. So feel free to give us any messages. And here's that song to finish off with, just for 5 minutes. And we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
I started playing it.
Calm, peaceful, world so joyful, no trouble, no sorrow, everything's one. Cool fountains, clear and blue, rising high up the air. Life so great for me and you, happiness everywhere, like heaven. Like heaven. The sun shining, gleams touch my heart, the rain falling. In this world I am a part, no more thoughts in my mind, nothing to bother. Deep feelings, oh so kind, coming from Mother Earth, like heaven. the pulse of life inside my heart, like heaven, like heaven, like I wanna free my mind, I gotta free my mind, I have to free my mind, I gotta free my mind. You can't control your mind. With your mind, you go beyond your mind to reach heaven, to be in beyond the mind.
Thanks, everyone. We'll say goodnight. I hope you all got the WhatsApp link that I put in the chat, and look forward to seeing you next week and through the week, of course, for the meditations we have daily in the WhatsApp group. Thank you, Philip. Thank you, everyone. Thank you all online. Lovely questions. And we'll say goodnight.
Good night.
Oopsie daisy.